Welcome to Life After 40 Conversations with Philip Blackett. This is a space for honest, thoughtful conversations about midlife without the hype, without diagnosis, and without pressure. If you're somewhere between 35 and 55 years old and quietly navigating questions about your energy, your identity, your work, your faith, your relationships, or your health, you're not alone. Midlife can often look stable on the outside and feel unsettled underneath. Life After 40 Conversations exists to do one thing well: to give adults in midlife the language, the clarity, and the calm perspective for a season that can often feel confusing, lonely, or silently overwhelming. This show exists to help you feel seen, steady, and less alone as you navigate the second half of life. Now, bear in mind, this is not a self help program. It's not a medical show. It's not even a motivational pep rally. What this is a meaning making space. Each episode is a grounded conversation with myself, alongside leaders, caregivers, entrepreneurs, pastors, parents, professionals, and thoughtful human beings who are living through midlife in real time, just like you and me. We reflect on lived experiences without issuing prescriptions with peer pressure, because I believe in this very deeply. Midlife is worth living and worth living well. And living it well doesn't start with pressure, it starts with perspective. So if you ever thought to yourself, why does this season feel different for me? Or why am I rethinking things that used to feel settled before? You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And I'm grateful that you're here. So let's begin today's conversation. Our guest today is Sophie Malahieude. She is a emotional balance coach and author of Beyond Emotions. She created the emotion process, which blends yoga, Ayurveda, I hope I pronounced it right,
Yes, yes.
breath work, and self inquiry to help people understand and process emotions with awareness. Her work guides midlife men and women beyond overwhelm toward inner wisdom, growth, clarity, and love. Sophie, welcome to Life After 40 Conversations.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be with you, Philippe.
Absolutely. Happy to have you here. So, just to get started, I shared a little bit about yourself to our audience here. Would love to learn more from your own words here. Before the titles, before the resume, who is Sophie in this season of life?
Oh, she started to be a grow up, grown up. Um, yes, in this season of my life, I can stop and pause a moment and realize everything that I have achieved, be proud of what I've been, and because it's a moment to pause, create how I'm going to continue unfolding my life. Um, just quickly, I am French. I moved to Germany for 6 years. I got two children in Germany, and then we moved to United States. In United States, I was East Coast, West Coast, back to East Coast, and every time, it's a time of reflection. And we say very often that there is a middle life crisis. I think that any important moment in your life can be a crisis in disguise. When we get married, when we have children, when we move, when we lost someone in our family, every time it's an opportunity in a way to stop and say, okay, what's going on with me? Where I'm coming from? Where do I want to go? And now it's time of self-care. And particularly as we move through transition in our life, we are always on the go, go, go. And sometimes we don't pay attention of our own needs.
No, it makes sense. One of the things I liked in particular, what you said too, Sophie, is, you know, midlife crisis often comes off as for people just a certain time. And to your point, any sort of major change could prompt somebody to feel like they're in a crisis. Partly because you're thinking to yourself, okay, this is like a point where you're really either second guessing, reevaluating, asking yourself the tough questions. And it may be a vulnerable place where you might not have the answers ready to answer for yourself, which can give yourself a little bit of insecurity or fear that, if we're not careful, can have us devolve into something much more serious.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
And so I think that what you're sharing makes a lot of sense because for me, it was my 40th birthday. But for others, it could be, like you said before, it could be at 47 and maybe you got let go of a job. It could be 36 and it might be a divorce.
Yeah.
It could be a number of different things where it's just in that range. And I typically look at midlife between 35 to 55 years old, primarily because that is a age range that a lot of things are happening in your life all at once, which you're probably more likely to have one of those points in time that causes you to reevaluate. And one of the questions that comes up often is, who am I at this stage? Is this chapter in my life about now? How do I look at this transition that's happening with me? And so that makes a lot of sense there. And
Right.
so when I think about midlife for you, Sophie, was there a point in time where you first realized something had shifted within you?
Well, actually, for me, several times since I moved, and it was big move. Every time I was not speaking the language, um, but it was pretty straightforward. All my time in France and in Germany, we moved from Germany to United States. I was in my yeah, I was not even 40. I was in the 30 something. And I still had my young children. I would say that for me, it came later, when my children, they went to college. As you know, when you are taking care of your family, make sure that everything is on the track, that you can be mentally and emotionally present for your family. Um, and they need you, and they are living on the same roof. I think until that time, I was already asking myself questions, but I didn't take time.
Mm,
And so then my children, they went to college, and still that I was still in my routine, always fine. But 2 years ago, so I was past my 50s, 2 years ago, we moved to Florida. And at that moment, wow, it was such a huge event because that was one of the first time in my life that I had to rebuild my community and my life,
mhm,
not around my children because they were not with me anymore.
mhm,
So I was, well, yes, I was with my husband, but I was alone in building the community. And it was a very big moment. And I think that I was fortunate enough to take the time and say, okay, Sophie, what do you want to do? And I wrote a book. I wrote a book, and I redefined how I wanted to serve my community, since I am also a yoga teacher and Ayurveda practitioner. Um, most of the time, I'm teaching yoga in studios, but I wanted more. And it's this time of reflection when actually, life gave me, it's a blessing in disguise. Life brought to me this moment of, okay, pause and reflect, because if you don't do that, then I was probably going toward anxiety and depression if I
mm.
didn't take the time to be very serious of the next step. So yes, for me, it came this really haha moment come I was past 50.
See, there's no set age for anybody. It just
No.
depends. It just hits when it hits, right? And so, I can resonate with there too because it's like when I moved from Boston on the East Coast down to Florida, to your point, like I'm with my family, but you're starting a new community. You're starting a new setting where I was so used to a certain community for 10 years, and now you relocate, which can be new and exciting. And, let's see where this goes. And there's also one you're just like, oh, goodness, seems kind of daunting too. Just,
Yes, yes.
starting fresh again. So that makes a lot of sense. And so, did you notice anything, Sophie, when you entered midlife where was there something that used to work for you that suddenly didn't anymore?
Well, so since I said earlier, I'm a yoga teacher for, I discovered yoga in Germany, so it's more than 30 years ago. And for me, yoga has always been my go-to. Every time I have moved in different places, I found a yoga studio, did training, teach there. So it was my go-to. And this moment, and it was already before I moved to Florida, I was already questioning myself that I was not as much fulfilled with teaching yoga as I used to be.
Mm,
And so it was a big, big moment for me to, how do I shift the way I serve people without teaching yoga? And when you are involved in yoga and you teach for 20 years, shifting career, if you want, is really, I would say, it was scary. Yeah, it was
mhm,
scary. Scary because, we have this idea of identity. Okay, I am a mom. I am a dad. I am in marketing, or I am a yoga teacher. And suddenly I said, oh, my children are not home. Well, still I am a mom, but I am not a full-time mom with my children at home. Um, I don't feel that yoga, teaching yoga in yoga studio is the best way I could serve people. So who I am, who I am. And so I think that this, it was just before we moved here, a few years before, I was understanding that teaching yoga was not resonating as much with me that it used to be. And
mm.
that was slowly, it came up to what happened when we moved in Florida. Yeah, yeah.
Would you say that's what surprised you the most about this new season for you, or is there something else?
No, no, for me, it was surprising me the most because, uh, I consider me as a yogi. So yoga is my life. Uh, it's a way of living. It's not only a practice. So for me, when I changed that, it was so surprising because I always, oh, I'm going to practice yoga all my life and it's going to be my life, You have those certainties. And then suddenly I say, oh, I'm not sure anymore. So that's surprising. It's very surprising. Um, and so now I still practice yoga and I still teach yoga. I just shift my way of doing it.
Okay.
But definitely it was, surprising. I would say that more surprising, it was also a little scary for me.
Mm. Was it scary because just kind of you felt like you're kind of in the fear of the unknown at that point? You're not sure where things go, or now it's like
I
you did
think
something for so long. Now, what do I do now?
it's more about identity.
Okay.
It's more about who I am. Um, and so, but in the process of understanding our emotions and understanding this shift that we have in life, it's understanding that saying that you are a yoga teacher or you are a mom or you are a married woman or you are, I don't know, divorced, whatever. It's just labels. The real question is, what are my values? Who I am in a way that not defining, but I am love, I am compassion, I am courageous, I am open to novelty. This is who really we are.
Mhm.
And so, when we go through this period of questioning, and you say, okay, you know what? I feel very happy when I am in the middle of people and I do this kind of activity. I like to help people. You know what? I'm very happy when I am alone in nature because it's helped me just to quiet my mind. So as we understand who we are beyond the labels, then we come back on our own path.
I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
What did midlife force you to stop ignoring? And what changed once you paid more attention to it?
Um, there is this uh, mm, I don't know. It's what I think is that when we are in this period of shifting, um, we are used to always on the go. We have a job, we have maybe children, we have married, or maybe we have a social life. And so we are always doing. And when we don't take time to pause, then we don't have time for us to discover what we need. So, what always helped me when I had those crises is to, for me, okay, meditation and yoga. But it can be journaling, it can be talking with a coach, it can be talking with a therapist, it can be going to church and be with your community, whatever it is. But a moment where you have no schedule, no obligation, you just are who you are. That's the first point I would say. Take time for yourself, but um, self-inquiry time. You know, I talk with a lot of women, they are in their 40s and 50s and say, oh, I take time for myself. I go to massage therapist and I go to a hairdresser. And yes, they are self-care. Yes, they are good because you feel good. At the same time, they are not opportunity for you to stop and reflect. So I insist in self-care in a way that do all whatever you like to do, but at the same time of reflection, because you are to reconnect with yourself. You have to reconnect with your own value. If at your work there is something going on and you walk and oh wow, that work is weird. What's going on? So how are you valued there? Is your boss in a way that is treating you and you have to step away from your values?
Mhm.
Does it sit with you? Because very often there is this fear, and I know it's not easy to say, "Oh, it doesn't work for me. I'm just going to quit my job and find another one." When we have financial obligation, it's not an easy path to take. Now, it's still a reflection we can uh, say to ourselves is that, okay, you know what? I feel overwhelmed, a little burnout. This is this time of my area. I am in my 40s. I have all this thing going on. Well, if you stop a moment and you reflect on your own value, maybe you are going to see that, oh, I lost a little my value in this area in my life or in my job. How do I reconnect with my own value? And then maybe simply explain to other people that my value, they are as valid as your value. And we have always a path of connection respecting each other value, and can be
Mhm.
even in conversation with a coworker, with a boss. When we come in an aspect of you and me with a situation instead of you against me,
Mhm.
then we shift. We shift our mindset and it helps us to find solution. Yeah. So yeah, bottom line, values and self-care um, for self-reflection.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things I appreciate about what you're sharing, Sophie, is just it seems like you've done a good amount of work to have those type of moments of reflection and the pause and ask yourself those questions as far as who am I? Where are we going from here? what's important to you, what values do you have, and does that mean that you're more connected to other people or maybe less connected and you find other people as far as part of your community? And I agree with you. I think oftentimes we get so caught up in the go, 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 that it just seems so routine. And we don't have that time to really think through what we're actually doing every day
Yeah.
and whether or not that makes sense for us to keep doing that same way every day.
Yeah, true, true. And there is also a point that I understand because it's when we take the time to pause and reflect, it's an awkward moment and we don't want to go there. So it's why I like to have to listen to podcast, because when you listen to podcast, to the wisdom that other people are sharing, you can really say, oh, does it make sense to me? What can I do? And so this is uh, the awkwardness is part of the process.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
let's be awkward, guys.
And it's okay to be awkward. It's okay to be quiet. It's okay not to have all the answers right then and there. It's okay to be like, all right, let's see where this goes. And I'm here for the ride, as you said, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I think from that standpoint too, Sophie, I'm curious. If you had not given yourself those opportunities to pause and to reflect and to ask those questions, even if it was awkward, what do you think it would have cost you to keep going the same way you had before then?
My health. Completely. I'm completely convinced that the way I choose to live my life and with those moments of awkwardness and self-reflection help me to be healthy. When I was in my 20s, I was so stressed out, at 20 years old, started to work, everything, and I was in love and I was going to get married and everything was fine. And I was super stressed, couldn't sleep well, have a bad digestion. And so when I discovered yoga a few years later, it's really helped me to put myself back. And I assure you that if I was not taking care of me in a deepest level, I would probably go toward anxiety and depression high level.
Mm,
I'm sure. I'm sure. So every day is a blessing. I say, okay, well, I feel a little stressed. I know you are stressed. It's okay to be stressed. And I go on my own and I do, what do you need today? Well, I need to rest. So rest. What do you need? I need to talk with someone or call someone. So I have this little guidance that I developed over the years, but I'm pretty sure that without that, yeah, I would be not good. That's sure.
I understand. And so now that you made those changes and you've given yourself that time to pause and reflect and act upon what those answers that came from you led to, what are some of the beliefs, some of the habits, some of the rhythms that are now non-negotiables for you now?
Yes. So for me, the non-negotiable is my hour of practice in the morning, well, 45 minutes to 1 hour, depends of how much time I have, with moving the body, breathing exercise, and meditation. This is a non-negotiable. Uh, going, taking care of my digestion and sleep is also a non-negotiable. So I don't go to bed later than 10:30 in the evening because it works with me. So I can wake up early and I have a full night of
Mhm,
resting sleep. So for that, I take care of what I am eating. So I pay attention of my diet, even in the evening, particularly in the evening, a light uh, uh, a light dinner is helping to have a good night's sleep. If I see that my digestion start to be off, my first thing is that what did I eat? What I have to regulate. Non-negotiable is going regularly, to the doctor to check on my eyes, my teeth, my health. Uh, just it's I am more into the prevention.
Mhm.
So for me, this is non-negotiable. And if someone is inviting me for a big party that is going to be until 3 or 4 in the morning, I probably won't go. It's not that I don't like they are great. People are great. It's just that I would not go because my health is my priority.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm.
Mhm. And even from that same sense too, Sophie, it's just like it sounds like, "Oh, yes, it'd be great, 3 to 4." But knowing yourself, it's like for some people, it's like, "Hey, once in a while, sure."
Yes.
But also paying attention to yourself, you say, "Well, is that something I'm gonna respond well with the next morning?" And if the answer is no, then you listen to your body,
Yes.
and you respond
Yes.
accordingly, right?
Yes, yes, yes. And that is my non-negotiable. Uh, um, and yes, I think that when we do things, one in the while, like a big party, one in a while, it's okay. But I don't respond well to that. Yeah.
Mhm. I understand.
Um,
So, looking at where things are now for you, Sophie, what does thriving look like for you at this point?
so thriving for me is, when you wake up in the morning and you go through your days enjoying your day, that you don't have even the feeling that you are working, because it's all for me, that thriving is that I wake up in the morning, I do what I have to do, I go teach, I have the private session, I have the programs, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Um, I think for me, the thriving. Thriving is really enjoy every single day. It's a work day I enjoy. It's a day off. I am enjoying that. I go to vacation. Yeah, yeah. For me, that's thriving.
That's awesome. So, this has been really helpful, Sophie, and I've definitely learned a lot here, and I'm sure a lot of people listening and watching this have learned as well. One of the things I love to hear your perspective on, if there is someone that's watching or listening to us right now, and she or he may be feeling fatigued, silently struggling, maybe drifting, or even experiencing burnout in midlife at this stage, what would you want them to hear from you right now?
I would just ask them, what in your life could you remove?
Mhm.
So that it give you more space, because if you are, I don't know, part of this club and doing this fitness program and being parents that are helping your children in whatever activities, and then you have your house and then you have your job, what is it you could say no to? It's a tough one.
Mhm.
But that
Mhm.
would be my first advice. Okay, what could you remove on your plate? Not to add more something else, but just remove. Say, just for the next 3 months, I'm not going to go to the I don't know, to the tennis club or whatever. Just to give me some more room and see what happens. Magic will happen.
I like it because I think that a couple things come up top of mind, right? One is, you know, do you feel bad about yourself saying, well, if I take something away, I didn't measure up to be able to balance everything? Like I should be able to take on everything. And getting past that and seeing there's a benefit to giving yourself more space or more margin. And then the second one is maybe it's connected, what you say no to might be connected to a person that you may have to decline an invitation to go to a social event, to be part of a community group, um, to work more extensively with. And the thought of disappointing someone may also get in the way of doing something that is right for you ultimately.
Yeah, Yeah.
And I share that out of a personal experience where it's like I think about a moment where I needed extra time for me and my family. And there was a group activity that was happening every other Friday night. And I recognized for myself, I was like, listen, I like this group. I like what we were doing as far as activity wise on a Friday night. The challenge is by 7 o'clock Friday night, I'm already exhausted. And I'm already starting to look at this activity as like, I really don't want to do this. I know I should, but I really don't want to do this because I really want to just hang with my family and get some extra rest. It's been a long work week. And that was a tough scenario for me to, one, let the group know, hey, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to stop attending. And the reason was, it's just, I just was tired. I needed that time to rest. I needed to be able to not have to feel like, oh, goodness, now after work, getting the kids from school, having dinner with my wife. Now I got to get in the car, travel to this place, engage in this group activity. But I'm already tired and making sure I get back home safely because it's a Friday night. So there's a lot of people out on the road that time. And just being able to say, you know what? It's okay
Yeah.
because I know this is going to be helpful for me.
Mm.
And I have to give myself that sort of attention and self care to even say no to certain things and
Yeah.
be okay with doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. There is two words that you say that are very important. The first word you said is that, oh, I should. As soon as we say I should, there is misalignment in our body and our heart and spirit. Um, so it bring shame that, oh, I should do that. No, you are taking care of yourself. And the second thing is that, oh, I don't want to disappoint someone. We are in control of only our thought and our body. Whatever the other people are going to think or do, we have no control. So when people say, when people are disappointed with us, I'm very sorry they are disappointed, but this is their own world. Because on your own world, you understood that your priority was your health and rest. It's a non-negotiable.
Hmm.
So, and we shift the perspective, we explain. If they have a hard time to understand, there's not much we can do because
Hmm.
this is their world. And
Right.
it's not saying in a way that you don't care, but it's self-respect with yourself and with your own value.
Right.
Yeah. Mm.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense because it just makes me think of like oftentimes we'll disappoint ourselves and we'll put ourselves on the back burner just for the sake of not disappointing somebody else.
True.
And unfortunately, when you put yourself on the back burner for too long, you pay for it.
True. Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Oh my goodness. Sophie, this conversation has been wonderful. It's been really helpful. I've definitely learned a lot, and I'm sure a lot of people listening and watching have learned quite a bit as well. For those that, are listening in or watching us that really resonate with where you're coming from, want to follow you and your work and that sort of thing, where can they connect with you after our conversation?
Yeah, thank you. They can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn with my full name, Sophie Malahieude. I have also a website. It's called ayurveda.com. And if they're curious to continue the journey on self-reflection, I just wrote a book. It's called Beyond Emotions. And
Hmm.
the book, you can find it on Amazon.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
We'll make sure to include that here for all of our listeners and watchers here. So, Sophie, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for taking time to have this conversation with me and share it with everyone here. And, for everyone watching and listening, let this be a reminder. Midlife is not a problem to fix, it's a great occasion to pause, just like
Yeah,
Sophie said, to
right.
reflect on what's happening mentally, what's happening in your body, where things are for you. And so if there's something today that resonated with you from what Sophie shared with us, take some time to meditate on that, reflect on it,
Yeah.
see if there is something that it clarifies for you, something that maybe invites you to pay more attention to at this stage of life. Um, don't feel like you have to act on it right now. Just sit with it because oftentimes that's where real change begins, not with urgency, but with awareness. And so, as we conclude today's conversation, to learn more about Life After 40, you can head on over to our website at lifeafter40.com. You're also welcome to connect with me at philipblackett.com. And just as a friendly reminder as we close, as usual, just know midlife is worth living and worth living well. Thank you so much, Sophie, for being a part of our conversation here. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for watching and spending time with us in this conversation. This is Life After 40 Conversations with Philip Blackett. Take care. Thank you for watching and listening. Feel free to share it with somebody that could be helpful for, and we'll see you in the next conversation. Thanks so much.